back to Realcomm Live. This is Jesse Carrillo, Chief Innovation Officer with Howard Hughes, and I'm excited to be joined by some good friends up here who are going to be telling us a little bit about merger and acquisition that took place recently. And personally, my nerves go up when I say merger acquisition because that just sounds like crazy work to do. But these gentlemen here did a great, fantastic job on the Kimco and Weingarten merger and acquisition. So I'm going to turn it over to them to introduce themselves and maybe tell us a little bit about that project. So I'll start with Tom.
Great. Good afternoon, Jesse. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
My name is Tom Taddeo. I'm with Kimco Realty. And Kimco is an owner, operator, manager of open-air retail centers. We have a 60-year history in real estate, and we own 537 open-air and mixed-use assets. And that accounts for about 93 million square feet. And it also represents about $20 billion of enterprise value.
So just a little company.
Just a little company, that's right.
All right. And so, again, as I mentioned, you guys went through a major merger and acquisition with Weingarten Realty, out of the Houston area. I'm very familiar with Weingarten. And again, just thinking about it makes me nervous. So tell me a little bit about the actual work and the acquisition, and then we'll ask a few more questions.
Sure. Happy to. So last year we completed an acquisition. It was $3.9 billion. And we acquired 139 centers from Weingarten Realty, and we also added about 100 of their associates into the Kimco organization. And we realized during that transaction about $30 to $35 million of synergies, and we were able to transition all of their systems onto the Kimco operating platform in less than 100 days.
So when you say less than 100, was that like 99 or was it like 51? Tell me the truth. But again, just the amazing the amount of effort. I mean, the number of sites, the number of systems. Right. 100 days. I mean, that's just unheard of. So Gregg, tell us a little bit more about what that looked like and what do you guys do from a RealFoundations perspective, and introduce yourself and RealFoundations.
So Jesse, great to be up here today. Nice talking to you. So my name is Gregg Haverstick with RealFoundations. We're a professional services firm, 2 lines of business: management consulting, managed services, and we focus solely on real estate. And this is Dan Sterk with me as well. So really, there were 3 main keys to success: human capital, partnerships, and technology. So Tom, why don't you tell us a little bit about the human capital side of it?
Sure, thanks, Gregg. So on the human capital side, our HR and business operations team really took the lead on integrating of the organizations. And I think one of the keys to this success was moving very quickly during the interview process. We had a high degree of engagement by both organizations in commitment to that process of onboarding the folks who we wanted to onboard, get offers out early, and then really be able to focus on the integration. So all the nervousness around 2 organizations coming together was really handled very quickly and up front. So it didn't linger on, and that was a real key to the success. I think other areas around human capital was certainly the 2 cultures. They were aligned very closely together, very similar organizations in terms of their history, and really just each team's commitment to wanting not only success for the merger, but also success for the continued operations of the combined company. So really, when you have that kind of an alignment from the leadership team all the way down, it really makes for a very strong and effective process during that process. And then I would say the last area is really how we mentored and onboarded the associates. That was really a differentiator. We welcomed everybody into the Kimco team, and really got high marks from in the feedback sessions around the integration in terms of how well everyone really stepped up and made it a very positive experience for those folks joining the Kimco organization.
Well, I mean, it sounds great because, again, I think everybody gets nervous when there's something like that, right? Do I have my job? Am I going to keep your job? Yes. And so kudos to you for really working with your HR and people and culture team to say, we got to get in front of this. We don't want people getting nervous. We want to make sure we retain the right talent. So kudos to you for doing that. So I appreciate you sharing.
And everybody knew exactly where they stood. Right. During the project. So we've seen that trip up a number of these types of transactions. And so working with people that knew where they stood in the new organization gave them a sense of confidence, and they were really able to assist us knowing that they had a place moving forward.
Right, great. And then you also mentioned partnership. So can you explain a little bit about partnership?
Sure, thanks. Really the partnership between the people at Kimco, partners like MRI, RealFoundations coming together, all having a great idea of where we fit together, as Gregg talked about, is a differentiator in terms of the speed of which you're able to execute something like this. Because I think a lot of times in real estate, asset acquisitions get confused with a real company merger. And this was not just an asset acquisition, it was a real merger. And that's a much different thing. Many different offices, many different kinds of people, many different types of systems that have to be dealt with. It's not just taking an asset's financials and moving it from one system to the next. And I feel like that was why it was really an achievement to execute something like that in that period of time.
Well, and also I think we've talked about it at the conference. It's, relationships, friendships, partnerships, right? And I've known you folks for a lot of years, and I think when you're able to partner and you bring those relationships with you, with some of these solution providers, some of these other vendors, it just makes it so much more easy to work together because you've already created those friendships.
Yeah, without those pre-existing relationships, I can say with certainty we would not have been able to do it at the rate of speed we did.
Speed, yeah.
We were able to go in, talk to, we knew the people that were in charge, and so that really made it happen.
And combined with how many people can say they've done that large, a $4 billion acquisition, 98% remotely.
Wow.
It was during COVID, it happened on time, on budget. They had a synergy tracker, they tracked, they identified all the synergies, tracked them, and achieved them. Those things are major accomplishments in my mind.
Dude, we should just do a mic drop right here with the fact that you guys did it during COVID. Holy cow.
I do think that is something that is commend to both Tom and Gregg for pulling that off.
All right, and then the third pillar you mentioned was technology, and so you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so given the aggressive timeline, we knew we had to be very efficient in what we were doing, and we were able to leverage a lot of RPA that Kimco had built on their systems to validate the data, give the business owner confidence that the right data was moved to the right places, in the right form. And so we leveraged our RPA to do report validations, validated millions of records of data. So that assisted greatly with the time frame. And then we also worked closely with MRI, and MRI had a lot of pre-existing integration scripts from JD to MRI, and that was able to assist us as well. So it was a good mix of kind of old technologies along with some of the more cutting edge technologies to make this happen.
Right. And and like every good CIO, Tom took credit for having all that RPA in place already, right? Of course we have to take credit where we get it, right, Tom?
That's right, Jesse.
All right. So again, exciting what you guys were able to do, the speed, unheard of. Again, in a COVID remote, amazing, amazing, amazing. So, Tom, any final thoughts, and recommendations if anybody's having to go do this in the future? Any final words words of wisdom?
Sure, Jesse. I think a large contributing factor was the trust between the organizations, and then the trust between our partners. The trust that we had in RF and bringing the team. I mean, they had a very expensive team, not only focused on technology, but integrating of offices, integrating of people, integrating of systems. I mean, there were a lot of moving parts. They also helped with an integration management office that was helping all of the work streams. And so that key, that partnership, that trust of in your service provider is absolutely key. I think that the teamwork on both sides, you can only be successful if all parties have a common set of goals and interests in accomplishing. So I think that the teamwork and the trust that we had both within Kimco and the Weingarten teams was absolutely critical. We have good systems. We had a lot of hardworking people, especially in accounting, that did a lot of mapping early on, made decisions that we were able to then move forward with and get systems converted. Likewise, on the operations side, our business folks were validating lease information, deal information, all of those things to help during the go live section to make sure that it was smooth. And then I would say the last thing is just a good playbook to follow all the steps and account for all the things that you need to get done. It's really important to have that as a guide.
All right. Well, again, kudos to you and the team.
Thank you.
You personally, I mean, I've known you for a lot of years, and you're one of my best friends and top-notch CIO. So congratulations, and I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do now after the merger and acquisition.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for the
Jesse.
opportunity.
What's that?
Thanks for the opportunity. We appreciate it.
Well, no, it's great having you guys up here, and again, long-term friends, with you guys at RealFoundations as well. Great.
Thanks, Jesse.